Hello Lorenzonites, episode 45 of Tylo and Eeloo, and in between episodes the researching of precision engineering got finished, and we're now researching unmanned tech on our way to develop ion propulsion, which is the next node for which we need 550 science points. That aside, we have finished the Supply Queen, a very important ship because it will resupply the space station, which will allow it to build itself out, adding a fuel processing plant, and with that fuel and new rocket parts we can do many interesting things with which we can then fulfill contracts, earn money and forge ahead. We shall launch this, and there was something else I wanted to say but I forgot, so it's probably not important. It is important because we can only afford one more of these. They're 200,000 credits a pop, but I think it will be fine. Yeah, that's basically it. Oh yeah, and there will be FPS terribleness at the space station, which will mean that there I will be doing a lot of video cutting because your viewing experience is important to us. To me, yes. Right, let's put the Supply Queen on the launch pad and see how she behaves there. I'm going to show you this ascent because I really like this rocket. Not quite know why, but it's just I like it. We're going to wait until the future is in an appropriate position. Oh, guess what? That's now. Cool. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Lift off. Hold it. Stop the recording. Revert to launch. Because I need to fix the sound levels. For some reason, every time I restart KSP, the sound settings go out of whack. So I'm going to revert for the sake of being understandable. See you in a bit. Right, here we are again. Now I think the rocket engines should be a little bit better behaved. Right, the future has been set as a target, full throttle, and there we go. Yeah, that's a lot better. Alright, now this thing is one of the few rockets I've designed that will actually do a proper gravity turn unassisted. Now in the KSP world, the world gravity turn is abused like a Nepalese seal. That made no sense. It's abused a lot because what is meant on the KSP forums by a gravity turn is just the turn you do to go into orbit. Whereas in real life, a gravity turn is a turn that happens because of the pull of gravity without any steering input. And as I've been going on about the capacity of this ship to do a gravity turn, it's proudly not doing a gravity turn. So screw that, I'm gonna do a KSP turn, which is just me pushing the controls to make it go where I want it to go. Well, let's say once in testing this did an actual gravity turn, which is majestic because then you can just sit back and watch it go where you want it to go, which is nice. For now though, we'll use our steering input and waste about 100 meters per second of delta V in wrenching this thing around. It's actually going completely off course. That's not great. Alright, well this booster does have enough delta V to get to the station with a little bit to spare, not a lot to spare, because as you'll see when these fairings come off, it's carrying a lot of stuff. It's carrying lots of of rocket parts for the shipyard, and it's carrying a big tank of water, which will then of course be refined into fuel by the fuel module, which is yet to be built. And that's also why it's a little bit unfortunate, the sequence in which this is happening, because this is going to attach to the station, then the supply module can be built, and then the freighters that are currently attached will be able to be ditched. So we'll have maximum parts causing part lag. Let's ditch the fairing. Look, there we have our big freighter. It has SAS control even. We have a tank with 20,000 units of water. This will be split into liquid fuel and oxidizer, presumably hydrogen and oxygen. We have supplies, 2,500. I left that at half full because, well, the station isn't quite depleted of supplies yet. That could have been an oversight from simulating times though. Anyway, some supplies. Now that there has been 500 supplies scattered over Minmus, I could have increased that a bit. Oh well, there will be more of these freighters. Monopropellant, obviously, to use in docking and also to use on the station. Although monopropellant will also be made from water in the future. 11,000, well, let's say 12,000 rocket parts, and a small upper stage and control module. Nothing too complicated, but quite massive. And well, you can see that there's a mainsail pushing this, and the speed is not increasing that quickly. Oh, stop it! I've been going too high. Damn it. Wasting delta V while talking. It's not great. Alright, let's see if I can still fix a encounter from this. Yeah, we're periapsis, and this is going to meet at 60 kilometers. That's actually still pretty good. It's not too wasteful. Great. Well, from here on things will be fairly self-explanatory. I'm just going to do that, and then we'll show you the final approach up to the station. And hey, look at that, what's that? Oh, that's a surprise, the other station. I quite like this, where the orbital space is now crowded enough that you will occasionally just meet different pieces of hardware. This will soon be a fully functional station as well, and with soon I mean within like 5 years. Anyway, as I said, I will do the rendezvous to the station autonomously, without your input, and I will show you the majestics of docking. See you then! Alright, we have a problem. As usual, we've had a few episodes without problems. So last episode we had a big problem, and now we have one again. We have rendezvoused with the future, but there's 41 meters per second of speed difference and we are out of fuel. Now, if this were a fully functional space station with fuel reserves, we could just send the tug over, pump some fuel into the stricken freighter. But we cannot, because we don't. Let's drain it, and now we're gonna have to slow down on RCS thrusters, which is obviously going to be painful. Look, it is working. We are slowing down in the right order of magnitude. Will we do so before yeah, physics warp, we're gonna do that. Will we do so before everything runs out? No, wait. Oh shit, that physics warp did something. I don't think we're gonna manage it. We're through a third of our fuel, and we've scrubbed 10 meters per second. We could probably do it, but our reapproach reserve is going to be, our reapproach fuel is going to be really low. Perhaps if we can just zero out the speed, we can send an RCS powered tug over to deliver more monopropellant, because that we still have on the space station. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is going to be horrible, because our reapproach is going to have to be like 5 meters per second, because well, we just won't have the fuel to do any precision maneuvering. Oh god damn it. That overshoot on the orbital insertion was terrible. Actually, reassess. We will make it. We have halfway slowed down. We started at 40. We're now at 20, and our RCS fuel isn't completely gone yet. We will still be at something like 2 to 3 kilometers distance. That is completely bridgeable at a 5 to 10 meters per second speed. It will take a while, and it will be a little bit of finagling with the RCS, which I will do off screen, and I will give you an update as soon as we are in an updatable situation. See ya then! In the meantime, I'm gonna be RCSing. There we are. We are approaching at 6 meters per second. We spent a whole orbit doing that. We have 110 units of monopropellant left, and well, it looks as though the resupply mission can be salvaged. I've also done some thinking. Yeah, I know, woe is me. I've done some thinking, and if we are to run out, we just have to make sure not to run out on a collision course with the station. And then I can load up one of the tugs, which has RCS propulsion, I think, to deliver some more RCS. With the one with the claw has that, I think. Let's have a check, actually, if that's true. Let's see, this thing here, does it have... No! Oh, but it does have a docking port, and it carries It can carry 30 units of monopropellant in the capsules. Oh, but it can't propel itself. Oh shit, that's horrible. This thing then. This thing has it. Yeah. This thing can bring monopropellant over. Alright, but maybe it's not necessary. I think it will be necessary. I think it will be necessary. We will just get this thing as close as possible and then we'll put new monopropellant in, just to be sure. Hey, the RCS system doesn't want to do roll. Oh, it does? It just isn't displaying. Anyway, I will make this happen more and tell you how it goes, because this is low FPS hell and it takes long and it's boring. See you in a bit. So yeah, we're 250 meters away, stationary relative to the station, and we have 30 units of RCS left. That's not enough for a successful approach and maneuver. So we are going to do the emergency RCS plan. Let's see, where is the RCS in this thing? Please tell me there is some left. Yeah. Alright, transferring this thing full of RCS. Now the next thing we need to do is to drain this of all payload, because otherwise it's going to be too heavy. The rocket parts are empty. Oxidizer needs to get out of here. We just have too much oxidizer. Oxidizer payload has been the bane of this operation for a few missions now. Screw oxidizer. Should be illegal. Water. I'm afraid we can't get rid of the water. The module with the water tanks hasn't been built yet, so no getting rid of the water, unfortunately. Can get rid of this oxidizer though, that's no problem. Organics. Can't get rid of the organics either, I don't think. No. Damn it. Well, this only has a very small way to go. Does this have an autonomous control unit? No, it needs a Kerbal. Rodgar, get in there. I don't know why I picked Rodgar, just that we need a little bit of haste to actually catch that thing before it drifts away again. This thing will revitalize the station, and then we can also just get rid of this craft, because, well, let's be honest, it's not very useful. Apart from it being very, very useful right now. Okay. Great. Let's control it. Where is it? Did I undock this thing? No! No, I didn't mean to undock this thing. No, no! No! Come on, redock. This thing needs to stay attached. It doesn't have any fuel. If it doesn't redock, this is lost. Please redock. Well done. Alright, I meant to undock this thing. Undock. Thank you. Alright, here's the thing with Rodgar in it. Alright, so this is going to ferry. We have monopropellant up the wazoo. This is going to go over to the supply queen. Alright, I will do that and tell you how it went, as per usual. Right on, it's a bit of a rough docking, but it does seem as though Rodgar has done it. He will now transfer all the monopropellant in there, and then he will detach this, and this thing is now decommissioned. We don't want this anymore. Well, we kind of want the water and the organics and the stuff, but come on, too much hassle. Rodgar will take care of you later, promise. Back to the supply queen, which now is again 300 meters away from the future, but it is refueled with monopropellant. This is do or die now, because maybe this was stupid. We didn't leave any monopropellant in the tug to go and get more. But come on, we have to be able to get there with this amount of monopropellant now. Alright. Getting there. Establishing speed. Accelerating. Well, I will just do this as you're used to and tell you how it went, because this requires some concentration and I'm getting more frames per second if I don't record. So see you in a bit. Damn, this is so fucking tense. So here we are, we're right close now. Let's slow down again. We already burned 100 units of monopropellant just doing this, but we are properly close now. Half a meter per second remaining. So we need to do some translating. See, we're a little bit offset. We need to turn. We need to go this way. You know what? I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to actually turn the station so that the docking port is facing towards me. Right, here we are. Control from here. How much monopropellant does the station have? Not a lot. This kind of has to work. Monopropellant on. Ooh, right on, right on, right on. Face the docking port towards the rocket. Maybe I should use that docking port. I will use that docking port. Screw it, I'm using that docking port. That's completely properly faced to me right now. Alright, set as a target. Turning. Moving sideways. Moving sideways the right way. Yes. Turning, turning, turning. Right, accelerating towards the docking port. Moving sideways the other way. Right, we're on course now. Slowing down a little bit. Alright. Aiming at the bullseye. We're drifting all over the place, so is the station. But we're approaching a docking port at 0.3 meters per second. I think this is gonna work. Alignment could be better, but it's not horrible. Let's slow down more. Less kinetic energy to be dissipated by the magnetic clamps. Now this thing is heavy, so it's going to wobble up and down for a while. And this is also the spot where I want the expansion module to go. So this is again not ideal. But it's also fine if the expansion module temporarily goes here while it refines more fuel. That's no problem at all. Cool, we did it. We damn well did it. The freighter is attached. Now it's essential that this thing is actually going to be built, because well, we have the parts now and then we can start refining fuel from all this water. We still can't do so. Now it's also important to get this Kerbal back, because well, he didn't deserve to be left out in space. Well, we left more debris now to be cleaned up later. This is going to have to be cleaned up at some point. I don't know quite yet how, but I do know that in the research note that I unlocked recently, that gave the Kerbals the ability to manufacture explosives which can be attached to rockets to explode them. Now in real life that's a horrible idea, because if you explode a satellite, maybe like 0.5% will vaporize and the rest will become deadly orbital debris. But in the Kerbal universe an explosion is clean and everything is then just gone. So sounds like a nice way to get rid of stuff. Now I will return this Kerbal to the space station and then we'll discuss pathways into the future where to go from now. Probably we'll be building the expansion module. See you when good old, what's his name? Rodgar, the monopropellant courier, gets back home on the space station. Wow, that was an eventful resupply. Here, flash forward about 15 days. Rodgar is back on station and the expansion module has been built. A complication I hadn't even considered, but I'm happy it didn't arise, is that holy shit, the shadows are going nuts here. Let's turn off these lights. A complication I hadn't even considered is that the expansion module, oh, it's not built. Oh, it takes three more days. Alright. That means we are going to do the ghillie maneuver first, because that's almost there. Anyway, the expansion module also needs monopropellant. Fortunately, there's still some left on the station, but that is something I had not considered at all. So, well, fortunately, that didn't become an issue, because then I would have had to launch. I mean, now the situation is stable. I mean, the tug has been attached to the ship, and we could have just launched a very small rocket with a canister of monopropellant. Sure, would have been fine, but wouldn't have been very nice. I would have hated that. But now here we go. This module will be completed after we do the maneuver node with the ghillie eater. Here, look at that. Our calendar is getting very, very empty. That's because we have barely any long-term projects anymore, but we are working on our infrastructure to be able to kickstart any big ships to Tylo and Eeloo. Because even though we're at like episode 44, 45-ish, and we have only sent like some token efforts in that direction, but don't worry, because we're gonna send a big-ass colonization fleet at some point, and we can't very well launch all of them from Kerbin, not with the fund restrictions we have. Anyway, let's fire off this probe to Eeloo, not to Eeloo, to Eve and Ghillie. And this is only the first of several maneuver nodes, but hey, you have to pay attention to all of them, because otherwise the rest doesn't work. Does that make sense? That makes so much sense I didn't even have to say it. Boom, here we go, did that, and the next one is, I think, pre-programmed. Yeah, but look at this. Are we now like... Oh no, we did need that maneuver node. Damn it. Can I undo the deletion of a maneuver node? I don't think I can. Right, I will just redo it, because we are now in the correct plane. This should not be that hard. Look. No, come on. Yeah, there's an encounter. I have no idea which way around we want to do this. But let's have a look at our spaceship. We have plenty of Delta V left. I'm gonna regret saying that, I'm pretty sure, but hey, we'll get an encounter, and from the boundary of the sphere of influence we'll fix that. That'll be fine. Also, I don't want to mess with it too much now. Alright, let's put an alarm for the maneuver node. 14 days, nice and quick. And now we can go back to the space station and do the expansion module. Yay! Right, so we're at the space station, back in FPS hell. It will improve a bit, because we can now throw away this after we build the space station, and then once we have transferred all the water and the spare parts, we can also throw away that. That would make things a little bit smaller, but I think it's always gonna be a hell. Nothing to be done about that. Alright, now on this arm, where I think I will attach it on this one, there's still a command pod. We have to throw away that. Decouple the node. This is trash. This will now also be close vicinity trash. Finalize the build. Whoa, I hope this even fits. We're gonna put all the monopropellant we have in there. Yeah. And also some of the machinery. I think in a subsequent launch we may have to send some machinery up, because we are not building that. Alright, release. Here goes. Alright. This looks really big, and it is quite big, but it's also completely empty, so it's not that big actually. Will it fit here? That's the question. I think it will fit here. We'll set this as a target. We'll control it from here. Now this is very much a temporary berth. because of course it has to go where the freighter is currently docked, and we will put it there in good time. But first, before we do any of those maneuvers, we really have to manufacture more monopropellant. That's just the reality of the situation. So slowly turning around. And I did try and balance the RCS thrusters on this, and I think it wouldn't let me balance them completely, but I think it did a fairly good job. So let's see, yeah, we need a little bit more forward displacement to clear the shipyard, of course. Yeah, let's stop now. And now we can start on moving towards our docking berth. It's very, very wobbly. I'm not completely happy with that. I'm not sure why that is. Are we aligned properly? Oh, pretty well. Will we hit something? I don't think we will. Cool, cool, cool. We can even step on it, make it go a little bit faster. Obviously this is an ugly placement. I want this to go on the rear of the station. But, well, beggars can't be choosers, and at this point we're definitely beggars. I wonder at which point we'll actually need more power supply capacity, because these few solar panels, I'm wondering if they will be enough in the long run. We can always add a nuclear reactor, but, well, I'm pretty much at the maximum of what I still find enjoyable to control. I mean, we're currently running 12 frames per second, and if I stop recording it's about 20. So that's not nice, but it is actually controllable. Barely. So any more and I won't be very happy with that. Oh dear, this is like pushing on everything and stuff. Come on, attach, attach, attach. Do it. Disabling the attitude control, because of course the clamp has to actually shift the attitude. What we have here is water tanks, fuel tanks, and a refinery, which we'll have to put a guy in. Yeah, we are now one station again. What I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna regret, holy shit, no, don't attempt to shift the whole station. I'm going to offload this freighter and just ditch it immediately. That means that we are going to... I'm going to ditch this one first. I mean, this one just has to go. Substrate. I don't think we have any substrate containers on this thing. But still, our aeroponics bay is full of substrate, and it's not being used really quickly. So let's transfer more. That'll just die in the void of space. Liquid fuel, liquid fuel, liquid fuel. We can store this now in these tanks, that's fine. In. And I'm not going to throw away the oxidizer anymore, because now that we have a refinery, we can actually make oxidizer and fuel independently of each other. So it doesn't matter, we can just make more liquid fuel and the oxidizer will get used in time. So we're gonna store that definitely. We are also most definitely gonna store the monopropellant, apart from a small amount that we will need to get this thing away from the station. This thing will need fuel before it can separate. So hey, here's the big moment. We're gonna have to do some fuel building. Let's start the LH2. Oh, it's liquid hydrogen. Oh, I can only make coupled. No. I want to make only oxidizer. I want to make only fuel, not oxidizer. Damn it. Is it now currently making fuel? It is. Very, very slowly. I will put a Kerbal in there. Thumbful. Man the refinery. Alright, we have fuel refining capabilities. there's still the problem that um, that we are now making both fuel and oxidizer. But I reckon if we shut off all the oxidizer tanks, that it may only make fuel. But then again, doesn't really matter for now, because in the long run we're gonna need both. Oh, wonderful. The plan worked. This didn't help. And we also want to make monoprop. Start that as well. Boom. And all these modules are running at like 1.25% load. I think they could be more efficient, but something is missing in this grand scheme of things. Either it's skilled Kerbals or some module, or something is wrong. Alright, let's transfer the water to this tank, because well, we gotta get rid of all this water. No, we don't have to get rid of it, but we gotta empty out the freighter, because that's gonna go back home. Back home in a fiery ball of fire flame, yeah. And here's some fresh supplies to keep your Kerbals alive. Cool, that's 130 supplies remaining. This is why I didn't fill it. I'm happy with that decision. Okay, so monopropellant is empty. Rocket parts can go into... No, stop! They shouldn't go in that, because that's being ditched soon. The rocket parts should go into the other areas. And now the slightly stupid thing that is that due to the building of the expansion module, the rocket part supply on the station is already quite low again. So another resupply mission is gonna happen relatively soon. But oh well, first I have something that costs less than the amount of rocket parts here, which will be really fun and will warrant its own episode, I think. I did kind of spoil it by doing the Minmus rescue, but we're doing contracts in a similar way. Let that be a slight spoiler. Let that be a slight spoiler. Alright, this junk is slightly receding slowly, that's good. Come on, find me an empty container of rocket parts. Also, this wobbling of the station, let's just let it spin. That's fine. It doesn't have to wobble. It can just spin freely. This is a free station. All right, we have some liquid fuel already. How much liquid fuel did we make in the meantime? 2 units. That's probably not enough. We will use some monopropellant instead to get rid of this derelict freighter. I mean, we're making fresh monopropellant now anyway. So, I mean, let me double check. This doesn't have any useful purpose. Not really, no. So, undock. Yeah, this is trash now. Let's control this and let's get rid of it. I mean, it's had its moment of glory. Oh, it's so nimble now compared to earlier. Cool, it's done its thing. It's got lots of electric charge, which is gonna throw away. Or pointing retrograde and punching it. Now it's gonna go in a lower orbit. It might even re-enter, but it is going to be cleaned up, that's for sure. And this will help a little bit in the frames per second of the station, because let's face it, these are about 16, 17, 20, let's say about 30 parts. And well, that's not the brunt of the amount of parts, but it's an amount. It's an amount. This is now officially orbital trash. It will get close to the station every now and then. I probably won't collide with it. Let's see. If we had enough liquid fuel already, I would have given it some fuel and it would have just crashed. But no, that wasn't to be. That wasn't to be. So, I do say so a lot. It is now at 186 by 217. That shouldn't interfere with the station. So we can just leave that. Switch back to the future just in time. Now, Do we have any fuel at all? Any liquid fuel? We have 3 units of liquid fuel. Wait a second. Oh, right, I got some flowers. They were delivered to my doorstep. I completely forgot what I was up to. Oh yeah, I was looking for liquid fuel so as to fill that into this tank and reattach this to there so I could get rid of this one as well. What's this? Substrate, oh yeah. Liquid fuel. This still has oxidizer in it, we have to save that. Alright, I will perform more space station maintenance and show you the results. How's that? Yes, I found the liquid fuel that's being made. 5 and 6 units. We can put that in here. It doesn't sound like a lot, and to truth be told, it isn't a lot, but maybe we need more machinery for more efficiency. That could be it. Anyway, we can try that just now. It was just a stray thought. We have machinery here. Yeah! It needs more machinery for the higher efficiency and more load. Alright, the next thing we'll have machinery. We will fill all of this with machinery. Machinery up the nostrils. Oh, alright. Back to business. We shall decouple this and reattach it like just here, and then we will decommission this hunk of metal. Alright. Let's control that bit. Oh, this is still junk. Yeah, controlling this. It's drifting away, that's good. Control from here. What shall we target? Shall we target the docking port? Just because it's nice and targetable. Is this a workable attitude? Yeah, we will hit something this way. The engine is activated. Cool, here we go. That didn't even cost 5 units. But we are gonna miss the station. So we're gonna... Alright, that's slightly fast. Trouble everywhere. Yeah, come on, grab it. Grab the radiator panel, don't damage anything. Just grab it. Disarm. Arm. I want you to grab something. No? You're not gonna grab it? Grabbing it is not your style, is that right? Or can it not be a radially attached part? I think that could be reasonable. That means we're gonna have to grab a fuel tank somewhere. Alright. Where shall we attach? We shall first stop. Can I target that? I just want to target the aeroponics module. Okay, fire. Here we go. Alright, let's stop relative again, because I don't know what's going on. Maybe this was a bad idea, but maybe it wasn't. You mean you never know. You never know. Alright. A full meter per second. We can probably withstand that impact. I mean, so much effort to just try and save this tug. I mean, what has it ever done for me? Oh yeah, many things. Alright, that's a quick and easy grab. Right, now this needs some monopropellant. It has some monopropellant. Cool. Is it empty? Final check. No, it has substrate, but we don't really care about that. Alright, undock. I am really littering a lot with this effort. Alright, undocking from the station. Orbit. Aiming retrograde. Full thrust. With these RCS systems. And maybe not just pure retrograde, but a little bit of inclination change as well, just so we don't really meet up with the station again. Alright. A few more units to burn off. And then we're gonna leave the future station alone in its very own simulation space. Sound good? I think so. Cool. Now if we ever find ourselves in dire need of substrate, we can just go find this thing again and grab it. Because it's in a 271 by 195 orbit, that's not really cleaned up, but it is decommissioned. Can we change it to like debris? No. Alright, we have the station and we gained like 5 frames per second. Isn't that nice? And the next resupply is gonna have machinery, loads and loads of it, apparently, because that's what's needed for successful operation of these modules, which I didn't know. So 6,000 machineries and more rocket parts. Because how much rocket parts do we have now? Rocket parts. We now have 4k rocket parts. That's not really enough. Let's build something anyway. The cool thing for next episode, yeah. We're gonna build the... I forgot what it was called. Oh god. What was it called? Not the Careful, not the Big Tug. Because that was decommissioned before it was even built. Not the Icarus. That failed. The Mad Reporter, of course, because it's gonna do reports. The Mad Reporter costs only 2,600 units, but it will require a lot of fuel, so it will build it and it will remain like in limbo, because we'll need to fuel it with more than 6 units of liquid fuel. Let's actually put all the machinery to work in the refinery, because we brought new supplies. We don't really need the aeroponics bay at this point. How did I fix it so that all these things are overlapping and wrong? Right, machinery. Come on! Are you enjoying listening to me whine about the controls? I sure hope so. What else do we have that we don't really need? The Kerbitat. Machinery. Go away from there. Yes. Now we have 2.5% load on the productivity of liquid fuel. Look, it's actually working. So another thing I don't know is how much water goes into these liquid fuels and monopropellant things. But that will be fine at some point, I'm sure. For now, let's go back to the Gilly Eater. No, first I'm gonna end this episode, because otherwise things will run on for too long. First I'm gonna end the episode, then I'm gonna design a resupply ship that actually carries machinery. And then in the next episode we'll attach that to the station, so we have efficient processing, and return to the Gilly Eater for more science goals. Actually, that's going to become really important, because this is the only outstanding thing that we have that will generate us money. Oh, and the thing we're building in the shipyard, that just needs fuel. So everything will be fine. See you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.